Coriolanus, k( æ)leɪnəs, or {l̑}, is a tragedy by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written between 1605 and 1608. The play is based on the life of the legendary Roman leader Caius Marcius Coriolanus. The tragedy is numbered as one of the last two tragedies written by Shakespeare, along with Antony and Cleopatra. Coriolanus is the name given to a Roman general after his more than adequate military success against various uprisings challenging the government of Rome. Following this success, Coriolanus becomes active in politics and seeks political leadership. His temperament is unsuited for popular leadership and he is quickly deposed, whereupon he aligns himself to set matters straight according to his own will. The alliances he forges to accomplish his own will result in his ultimate downfall and death. Characters. Synopsis. The play opens in Rome shortly after the expulsion of the Tarquin kings. There are riots in progress. After stores of grain were withheld from ordinary citizens, the rioters are particularly angry at Caius Marcius, a brilliant Roman general whom they blame for the grain being taken away. The rioters encounter a patrician named Menenius Agrippa, as well as Caius Marcius himself. Menenius tries to calm the rioters, while Marcius is openly contemptuous, and says that the plebeians were not worthy of the grain because of their lack of military service. Two of the tribunes of Rome, Brutus and Sicinius, privately denounce Marcius. He leaves Rome after news arrives that a Volscian army is in the field. The commander of the Volscian army, Tullus Aufidius, has fought Marcius on several occasions and considers him a blood enemy. The Roman army is commanded by Cominius, with Marcius as his deputy. While Cominius takes his soldiers to meet Aufidius' army, Marcius leads a rally against the Volscian city of Corioli. The siege of Corioli is initially unsuccessful, but Marcius is able to force open the gates of the city, and the Romans conquer it. Even though he is exhausted from the fighting, Marcius marches quickly to join Cominius and fight the other Volscian force. Marcius and Aufidius meet in single combat, which only ends when Aufidius' own soldiers drag him away from the battle. In recognition of his great courage, Cominius gives Caius Marcius the agnomen, or official nickname, of Coriolanus. When they return to Rome, Coriolanus' mother Volumnia encourages her son to run for consul. Coriolanus is hesitant to do this, but he bows to his mother's wishes. He effortlessly wins the support of the Roman Senate, and seems at first to have won over the commoners as well. However, Brutus and Sicinius scheme to undo Coriolanus and whip up another riot in opposition to his becoming consul. Faced with this opposition, Coriolanus flies into a rage and rails against the concept of popular rule. He compares allowing plebeians to have power over the patricians to allowing crows to peck the eagles. The two tribunes condemn Coriolanus as a traitor for his words, and order him to be banished. Coriolanus retorts that it is he who banishes Rome from his presence. After being exiled from Rome, Coriolanus seeks out Aufidius in the Volscian capital of Antium, and offers to let Aufidius kill him in order to spite the country that banished him. Moved by his plight and honored to fight alongside the great general, Aufidius and his superiors embrace Coriolanus, and allow him to lead the new assault on Rome. Rome, in its panic, tries desperately to persuade Coriolanus to halt his crusade for vengeance, but both Cominius and Menenius fail. Finally, Volumnia is sent to meet her son, along with Coriolanus' wife Virgilia and child, and a chaste gentlewoman Valeria. Volumnia succeeds in dissuading her son from destroying Rome, and Coriolanus instead concludes a peace treaty between the Volscians and the Romans. When Coriolanus returns to the Volscian capital, conspirators, organized by Aufidius, kill him for his betrayal. Date and text. The first page of the tragedy of Coriolanus from the first folio of Shakespeare's plays, published in 1623. Most scholars date Coriolanus to the period 1605-10, with 1608-09 being considered the most likely, although the available evidence does not permit great certainty. The earliest date for the play rests on the fact that Menenius's Fable of the Belly is derived from William Camden's remains, published in 1605. The later date derives from the fact that several other texts from 1610 or thereabouts seem to allude to Coriolanus, including Ben Jonson's Epicene, Robert Armine's Phantasma and John Fletcher's The Woman's Prize, or The Tamer Tamed. Some scholars note evidence that may narrow down the dating to the period 1607-09. One line may be inspired by George Chapman's translation of the Iliad, late 1608. The play's themes of popular discontent with government have been connected by scholars with the Midland Revolt, a series of peasant riots in 1607 that would have affected Shakespeare as an owner of land in Stratford-upon-Avon, and the debates over the charter for the City of London, which Shakespeare would have been aware of, as it affected the legal status of the area surrounding the Blackfriars Theatre. For these reasons, R.B. Parker suggests late 1608 to early 1609 as the likeliest date of composition, while Lee Bliss suggests composition by late 1608, and the first public performances in late December 1609 or February 1610. Parker acknowledges that the evidence is scanty and mostly inferential. The play was first published in the first folio of 1623. Elements of the text, such as the uncommonly detailed stage directions, lead some Shakespeare scholars to believe the text was prepared from a theatrical prompt book. Analysis and criticism. A.C. Bradley described this play as built on the grand scale. T.S. Eliot famously proclaimed Coriolanus superior to Hamlet in The Sacred Wood, in which he calls the former play, along with Antony and Cleopatra, the bard's greatest tragic achievement. Eliot wrote a two-part poem about Coriolanus, Coriolan, an alternative spelling of Coriolanus. He also alluded to Coriolanus in a passage from his own The Waste Land when he wrote, "Revive for a moment a broken Coriolanus." Quote, Coriolanus has the distinction of being among the few Shakespeare plays banned in a democracy in modern times. Coriolanus has fewer familiar characters than either Troilus and Cressida or Antony and Cleopatra, yet it shares thematic interests with these plays. Performance history. Like some of Shakespeare's other plays, there is no recorded performance of Coriolanus prior to the Restoration. After 1660, however, its themes made it a natural choice for times of political turmoil. The first known performance was Nahum Tate's bloody 1682 adaptation at Drury Lane, seemingly undeterred by the earlier suppression of his Richard II. Tate offered a Coriolanus that was faithful to Shakespeare through 4 acts before becoming a Websterian bloodbath in the 5th act. A later adaptation, John Dennis's The Invader of His Country, or The Fatal Resentment, was booed off the stage after 3 performances in 1719. The title and date indicate Dennis's intent. A vitriolic attack on the Jacobite. 15. Parody. While the title character's name's pronunciation in classical Latin has the pronounced Cole Porter's song, "Brush Up Your Shakespeare," from the musical Kiss Me, Kate includes the lines, "If she says your behavior is heinous, kick her right in the Coriolanus." Quote, based on Coriolanus, and written in blank verse, Complots of Mischief is a satirical critique of those who dismiss conspiracy theories, written by philosopher Charles Pigden. It was published in Conspiracy Theories: The Philosophical Debate, Ashgate 2006.